you can be healthy and happy. Here's how, and it's actually easier than you think. You have to make a decision on what healthy and happy looks like. And I think that's the number one thing that a lot of people kind of get confused about is that they think that what they see on social media is healthy and happy. Like they think being a size 2 is healthy. They think having a man, right, having bags is happiness. Now, listen, before you come for me, if you have all those things, brava, brava to you. But a lot of us don't, right? I'm 45, I'm single again, right? I'm over 200 pounds. And when I really sit down and think about it, I am healthy and I am happy. It always wasn't this way, right? 5 years ago, I was over 300 pounds and I was on the road to nowhere. And I gotta be honest, I was not happy. I smiled a lot, right? I always had that smile on my face, like, yeah, I'm happy, right? Always smiling for the gram, smiling for social media. Look at me. But deep down on the inside, honestly, I was crying and I was dying on the inside. And really, that's why I'm making this video today because I had to remind myself that no matter what it looks like, no matter what you're going through, you can be happy, you can be healthy, right? So here's how this looks. Again, I said you need to figure out what is health and what does happiness look like for you. So for me, health looks like I am doing what I need to do to maintain my healthy self, right? My most healthiest self. So that means getting in 90 grams of protein every single day. And look, you do whatever works best for you. Definitely consult your doctor. I'm always going to say that. But like, I supplement with protein shakes, right? So I might have 1 to 2 protein shakes a day. So that's already 60 grams down. I'm making sure I'm getting in 90 ounces of water, trying to, always trying to, right? But I'm shooting for that. And I'm always shooting for making sure I'm eating greens, making sure I'm moving for at least 30 minutes every single day, right? I'm meditating. Also, just making sure that like I'm doing the things that fill my cup. And that's what healthy looks like for me. And healthy is going to look different for other people, right? Healthy does not have to look like the society norms, especially if you're on a weight loss journey, especially if you've had bariatric surgery. Like I know a lot of us, like, because a lot of people that follow me, they've had bariatric surgery. So it doesn't have to look like I had bariatric surgery and, this is what healthy looks like, right? Happiness, that was something that I struggled with. And I feel like I still do struggle, right? With what does happiness look like for me? Happiness is like, I'm not going to be swayed by what people say, right? I'm not going to be swayed by not having followers, or I'm not going to be swayed by not having the most trendiest things, right? I'm not going to be swayed by falling into society norms because that's not the thing that's going to make me happy. What's going to make me happy is showing up every single day as my true authentic self, right? Showing up for others, being of service for others. And look, it doesn't have to be perfect. I think that's the whole theme of all of this, right? Is that it doesn't have to be perfect. We really need to like shut it down when it comes to always trying to be perfect. Because as I've learned in these 45 years, that perfection, that ain't serving nobody, right? I wish I would have known a long time ago that all those people that I was trying to floss for, or I was trying to look great for, girl, they don't care nothing about you. They don't care nothing about it, right? Yes, and at the end of the day, like the thing that really matters is just like being a good person, right? I'm a Christian, so definitely yes, right? Knowing that like I serve God, knowing that, I'm here for my daughter, I'm a mom, and that I'm really trying to be the best person that I can be. And that's the thing that makes me happy. Now, look, am I going to say like, oh, I wish I had $1 million and that would make me happy? Don't get it twisted, right? If I had $1 million, would I be a little bit happier? Yes, but I don't, right? Yet. I don't yet. I do not yet, right? Because if you've been following me for a little bit of time, I'm manifesting my million. And we just need to like come to the realization that, you know what, life is hard. Life is going to be hard. But at the end of the day, if you are healthy, if you are happy, then that's all that matters. So, how can you get healthier and how can you get happier, right? Because I'm sure that's the number one question on a lot of people's mind, right? Everybody's like searching for it. And I'm with you, right? There was a point in my life, especially after my son passed away, that I was like, I just want to be happy. Like I just want to be happy. And today actually is the anniversary of his passing. And when I tell you, man, it was like this morning I got up and I was like, okay, Monique, yes, you're sad. You're very sad, right? But you need to remember the good times, right? You need to remember the good memories. And then you need to share with others because you don't know what somebody else is going through, right? You don't know if somebody feels like they're a total failure as a parent, right? And maybe one thing that you say can like make their life just a little bit different. So, here's Monique's little tips on how to be healthier and how to be happier. Number one, decide what it looks like for you, right? I like to journal. I am someone who journals everything, right? I journal my emotions, I journal my gratitude. I am just a journaling fool sometimes, right? So I journal just about everything. And then I write down the things that are going to make me healthier. So, again, I said for me, it is nutrition, right? Making sure that I'm striving toward, right? I'm not saying I'm perfect, but what I'm saying is that I'm striving toward that, right? So, 90 grams of protein, my water, my movement, right? Making sure that I am being a person that is just like doing the things that serve me, right? I've lost 100 pounds and I've kept it off for 4 years. So clearly, your friend know what she's talking about. Okay, she know what she's talking about. But I'm gonna tell you that it's a slippery slope, right? And I don't want to hear nobody come in these comments and be like, "Oh, you have bariatric surgery, so it's easy." The lies they say, the lies they tell, right? We've all got to figure out what does health look like for us. Maybe it means fasting, right? Maybe it means changing your diet just a little bit. And I'm gonna say it, right? The thing sometimes that drives me crazy is that people will come to me and they'll say, Monique, I want to hire you to help me, like, get back into the motivation of working out. And then when I talk to them and I'm like, tell me what your day looks like. Okay, now let's talk about some things, some habits that we can form. And people are always like, oh, I ain't gonna get up early. No, I ain't gonna get up early. I ain't gonna do that. No, no, no. No, I ain't gonna give up fried chicken. I ain't gonna. Okay. Okay, right? You have got to be at a place when you are ready, right? To put in the work to do what it takes for you to get healthy. And I'm saying that from a person of experience. Did you know that it took me like 3 years to lose the 100 pounds after bariatric surgery? I had bariatric surgery like 4 or 5 years ago. So it took me 3 years to get under the 100. Let me tell you why. Because I had to make a decision, right? I had to decide that I was finally going to stop like playing around and I was going to do what I had to do to actually make my tool work. Right. So a thing for me was drinking the water, y'all. I'm so ratchet when it comes to drinking this water. I don't know why. I am ratchet. Right. And then another thing for me was asking for help. I think that was like the hardest thing, and still to this day is the hardest thing, is asking for help. Because I'm a fitness instructor, I feel like I know it. I don't need nobody else to help me. The lies. I do. I do. So I have a trainer, right? I go to classes, right? I have a nutritionist because at the end of the day, I don't know everything. And if you're the smartest person in the room filled with others, well, you might want to step out that room, right? So that's the first thing about how do you get healthy. Number one, you need to make a decision that this is what you want. Number two, you got to decide what does healthy look like for you. I always like to say also consult your doctor, okay? I have a quarterly meeting with my doctor. We do labs. We just have like a conversation on what's serving me now, what's not serving me. I was diagnosed with ADHD later in life. So it's been a roller coaster. And now ADHD mixed with menopause, girl, mixed with all the things. Sometimes I don't know if I'm coming or going, but you know what? I'm not going to give up, right? And I'm still going to strive after what healthy looks like for me and always being flexible to pivot. Now, when it comes to this happiness, girl, here's where the real work comes into play, okay? When it comes to being happy, again, you need to decide what does happiness look like for you. Happiness looks different for every single person, right? I could say happiness for me, and I'm honestly just going to say happiness for me looks like me showing up for me every single day, because at one point I didn't. I showed up for everybody else, right? I was always the person like, I want to make sure that everybody else is taken care of, my parents, my daughter, my friends. I did everything to be of service for other people and I neglected myself. So now being happy is Monique showing up for me. Well, how do I do this? First things first, every single morning when I get up, I pray. That is the very first thing before my feet hit the floor. I am in prayer. I am thanking God for the day, right? If you don't believe in God, that's your business, right? Thank whoever for the day, the universe. And then I sit in meditation for usually no longer than 5 minutes, right? Meditation for me has been such a game changer. And while I'm certified to teach meditation, I don't. And I'm going to be honest because I usually cry, right? I cry all through the meditation because it's just like that time when I'm able to actually stop my brain and really be intentional about where I am, what I've got to do today, what's on my plate, just really focusing, right? And the third thing that I do for myself is I go for a walk every single morning. Every morning, I go for a 30-minute walk. Usually, the 30 minutes equals a mile, but I do it every day, right? And that's me time. And I'm learning that I got to fill my cup first. And that's the thing that makes me happy. If you're a parent, right? If you're a mom, a dad, you're a step parent, maybe your grandma stepping in, for parents that can be there. My number one advice is fill your cup first. And you got to show these young kids that filling our cups is something that we should do, right? It's nothing that we do because the doctor gave us a bad diagnosis and now they told us that the sugars is high. And so now you got to work out. No, no, no. It's something that we do because we should do it, right? Happiness is something I like, happiness, self care, right? Kind of boil it into two. We got to show our younger generation that it's not the trendy thing, it's the thing, right? It's the thing of taking care of ourselves. That's the thing that makes us happy, right? This is the thing that serves our cup. Another thing for me for happiness is, again, being of service to others. Like, for me, teaching fitness, I think, is my thing that I do, right? To honestly serve other people. It ain't perfect, right? And this year, my business went out of business, right? My fitness business, it tanked and it was hard and it was tough. And I really feel like I've been knocked down so many times, right? Like, child, when I tell you, there's this saying that like if the devil fighting you this hard, something great is going to happen on the other side. And I'm constantly having to remind myself of that because I'm like, okay, like it doesn't matter what it looks like right now, but I've got to remember just that little slither of happiness, right? Just that little bit. And I'm reminding you that you need to remind yourself of that. Maybe you're driving in the car and you're listening to me. You're like, dude, when is this girl gonna tell me like what is it? How do I be happy? Girl, I don't know. You decide for yourself what makes you happy, right? How does happiness show up for you? Maybe it's, being of service to others. Maybe it's spending time with your kids. Maybe it's taking a break when you know that you need it, right? Maybe it is buying something nice for yourself. Here recently, somebody told me, like, I always see you in the same thing all the time. I see you in that same purple sweatsuit all the time. Well, you know what? This sweatsuit makes me happy. It does. It makes me happy. And this ain't no cheap sweatsuit. Like, this was expensive, right? But it was expensive to me. right? I feel good in it when I'm wearing it. I feel like the color serves me. I usually always wear black. So, like, I'm doing the things that make me happy. So, happiness isn't something like a magic pill that you take, right? It's something that you've got to work for every single day. We've got to make the deciding fact on the things that make us happy and then consistently doing it because that's the hard part. I feel like that's the key right there, right? Like, I'm going to say, I'm going to be happy. Yay. Just like I'm going to work out. Yay. But when it get hard, you're like, I don't want to work out no more. I don't want to do this. But here's the reminders that when you constantly do it, right? When you do something consistently, it starts to be easy, right? And then you start to build that muscle. And it's the same thing with healthy and happiness, right? Once you are constantly doing it, then you are building the muscle to do it. And I don't care what age you are, and I'm here to tell you that something is always going to happen to break you, to take you off kilter. That's just life. That's just life in itself, right? There's always going to be something that's going to happen that's going to try to sway you, and you're going to be like, but I thought I was happy. I thought I was healthy. No shade, all shade, but the shade. Like yesterday was Thanksgiving, and I was like, okay, we're not gonna eat a whole bunch. We're gonna be in moderation, and then we're gonna go for a walk. Child, when I tell you I ate. Now I didn't eat a lot, but I ate. And I didn't care, and I don't care, right? Because I know that's only one day. But I know consistently, right? I'm getting my protein. Consistently, I am drinking my water, right? I'm building the muscle, the habit, right, in order for me to be healthy. So one day is not going to throw it off. And I don't know who that was for, but one bad day of something is not going to throw it off. What you've got to remember is guess what? It happened. You give yourself grace and then you jump back up, and tomorrow is a new day. I don't care if you've got to do that every day for the next 60 days, right? It doesn't matter. Tomorrow is a new day. We do not have to stay down. We do not have to stay stuck because of something that happened now or even something that happened in our past. And that's kind of how I was even thinking about this video because I was like, today is the anniversary of your son passing away. And you should be sad, you should be downtrodden. And I was sharing with a friend that, like, things have kind of been like coming up like, oh, you should have done this, oh, you should have done that. And just a little bit of backstory, but like my son was born with a facial deformity called Tracher Collins, and he was okay. He had to have heart surgery. We did that. He had to have rods put into his face, and that was really hard. And just all the memories and all the thoughts, right, were creeping back up. Like maybe you shouldn't have done that. Maybe you shouldn't have done that. Maybe da 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 da, whatever. Oh no 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 no. And I said to myself, no, like I did what I thought was best as a mom, right? Of course, I took it in prayer, but I did what I thought was best. Am I sad that he passed away and he passed away at the hands of someone else? The nurse fell asleep and his tracheostomy fell off, and I had to give him CPR while we went to the hospital. And, unfortunately, he was brain dead, and that will ever be etched in my life. But I do not want to go around as, Monique Coleman, the mother of a dead son. I don't want that to be my label, right? That's one of the things that I am, but that's not everything that I am. And when I'm telling you, I had to free myself of that because I was like, that's something that could rob my happiness, right? I'm happy at the fact that I was his mom. I'm still his mom, right? I I'm still the mother of his twin sister, right? I'm not gonna let those bad thoughts, even though that's my story, right? That is my story. And as a result of that, I gained 300 pounds, right? But it's like that's part of the story that makes me me, right? And I'm thankful for the opportunity of having him as my son, right? Of walking through that, of, knowing that God is my savior, right? Of just, if it wouldn't have been for all these events that have happened in my life, it wouldn't bring me to where I am now, right? And that's really learning me, right? Knowing that life is going to be tough, but I'll overcome it. And I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to let somebody, tell me any different, right? So I feel like that was a really around the way long, way of saying that at the end of the day, happiness and healthiness is ours, no matter what anybody calls you, no matter what it looks like, no matter what age, no matter if you at that dead end job. If you want something different, change it. And maybe I'm just talking to myself right now, but it's not over. It doesn't have to be over. Anything that we want in this life, we can do it. So if you want to be healthier, make a decision to be healthier. If you want to be happier, make a decision to be happier. Along with happiness, of course, comes gratitude. So you got to be grateful, right? I'm grateful for every single day. I'm grateful for every single person, right, that watches my videos, that comes on my lives and things like that. But I'm never going to stop. I'm not going to stop. And this is your reminder to keep going, that if you want health and if you want happiness, it can be yours. Just go for it. Just go for it. I hope you've enjoyed this. My name is Monique, Healthy Living with Monique, and I'm so excited to bring you guys inspiration and motivation every single week. So make sure you put on your reminders onto this video, and I will see you in the next video. All right, bye.